I am a huge fan of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. I grew up with a lot of the games and have many pleasant memories of collecting rings, going at Mach speeds, and defeating evil badniks. But as you know, for a franchise so big and so popular, Sonic games vary quite a bit in quality and feel. There's an almost comical inconsistency to the franchise's level of output, and I think it'd be nice if I just shared how I would rank the mainline Sonic games. So without further ado, here is every mainline Sonic game ranked. Also, I'm going to be including the Storybook series. Some people don't count it as part of a mainline series, but come on, it released on consoles and was marketed the same way as most other mainline games. Anyway, let's begin the ranking.
Disappointment in the game of life!
Sonic 4 Episode 1 is surprisingly terrible. I had actually never played Sonic 4 before trying to make this video, and I always got the impression that it was just really mediocre and cheaply made, but it's far worse than that. Sonic 4 Episode 1 is an insulting defecation to the legacy of Sonic. This game feels like a Flash game, but in all the worst ways possible. The momentum in this game is non-existent. The level design ranges from a generic platformer to actually incompetent. The art style is awful, the game looks repulsive, and the music in this game, it just doesn't work. Rarely do I find a Sonic game where I feel like the music is bad, but here, there are no tracks that I can even point to that even sound decent. Knowing the history behind the game, that it was initially supposed to be just a mobile game, but then they rebranded it into Sonic 4, makes all of the awful production make more sense, but the fact that this was released on consoles for anything above the price of free is just gross. Sonic and the Secret Rings really infuriates me more than it has any right to. This game is bad. It's got terrible controls since it only came out on the Wii and it very much relies on motion controls to work. But the game just doesn't control well. This whole game feels like you're playing a tech demo because the controls are so bad. And aside from the controls, you have a bunch of other annoying issues, like the mission system or the progression system, which is probably the worst in any Sonic game. I think this is the first time Sonic Team looked like they didn't even know what they were doing with Sonic as well. The idea of Sonic being in the Arabian Nights is not only incredibly bizarre, but it just doesn't work. I'm not saying it couldn't work, it just doesn't work. The whole game's story is like reading the fanfiction of a teenager who just really got into the Arabian Nights and unfortunately happened to be a huge Sonic fanboy. This game is higher than Sonic 4 only because it has some good music in it. I actually never want to play this game again.
Nothing! Nothing about you has changed at all! Nothing!
It's Sonic 4, but slightly better. The graphics and art style have had a noticeable improvement. The game controls slightly better as well. Tails is there. That's all. It's still Sonic 4. And the fact that they wanted to make the supposed sequel to the Genesis games an episodic game series is just pathetic.
They don't treat you like a friend. They treat you like an item.
Sonic 06. What more can I say that hasn't already been said? This game is buggy and lacks polish. The art direction is uncanny and out of place. The loading screens are way too long. I don't know, it just feels tiring to even talk about Sonic 06. It's a bad game, and while the Sonic fanbase as of recent has been far more forgiving to this game than it deserves, I still don't like any aspect of this game other than the music. I know some people say that the story is good, but I just don't care for this nonsense time travel stuff that is also needlessly melodramatic and sloppily told. I also hate that this game does the "it never happened because of time travel" thing by erasing the events of the game in the end. I really liked a lot of the music in 06, the highlight being Solaris Phase 2 of course, which is this orchestral rendition of his world that just beams with pure grandiose and performance. Knowing the behind-the-scenes problems with this game just really makes me feel sorry for it more than anything. a game that was ultimately screwed over by poor management and Sega making the absolutely stupidest decision they could have made at the time. Sonic 06 reeks of missed potential, and if this game just significantly had more time put into it, and more thought put into its development, it could easily have been the Sonic franchise's magnum opus, but instead it's become an unforgettable stain on the Sonic legacy that still haunts Sonic Team to this day.
Disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight.
Shadow the Hedgehog is kind of embarrassing. It's this edgy, tone-deaf mess of a game that ended up ruining one of the most interesting Sonic characters with its mindlessly dark story. The gameplay itself is honestly just mediocre at best. You're going to end up replaying the same missions over and over again, and it gets boring very quickly. The controls are actually not too horrendous, although they can be slightly slippery. This game has a few decent music tracks, especially the level themes, and the vocal themes Never Turn Back and I Am All of Me are two of the best songs in the game. They showcase Crush 40's amazing vocal skills best.
And now I'll never turn back. I'll never turn that way. No matter how life tries to face me, I turn the other way. You see all of me, walk into my mystery, step inside and hold for dear life. Do you remember me? Capture you a statue.
This game should never have been made, but its existence is pretty much irrelevant in the grand scheme of the Sonic franchise, making it less insulting than Sonic 06.
None of this is good, Vector. That's why it's called war.
Sonic Forces. Ugh. This game is nowhere near as bad as Shadow or 06 or Secret Rings, but it makes my blood boil with anger. This game is so incredibly mediocre that it hurts. But what gets me is that it has no business being this bad. You take the most interesting concept for the story, and somehow you manage to make it feel less interesting than Sonic Lost World. 2 out of the 3 gameplay styles in this game have already been done before by the same team, in a game that came out 6 years before this one. All they had to do was copy and paste Generations, but add fire and an orange filter to the levels, and they would have probably gotten a solid game. How do you go from this to this? Why is classic Sonic's physics so messed up? You did it perfectly fine in Generations. Let's not forget the false marketing. You think this game would have you fight Shadow, Zavok, Chaos, and Metal Sonic, right? Because they were in the CG trailer, and they were clearly supposed to be a threat, right? Wrong! You don't get to fight Shadow, you don't get to fight Chaos. Hell, these aren't even the characters. They're fake copies made by a gemstone that has the ability to create illusions, but those illusions have physical attributes? What? Yeah, so in conclusion, Sonic Forces is trash.
Isn't there more to being a knight than just serving a king?
Sonic and the Black Knight is basically what if Sonic and the Secret Rings wasn't complete garbage. Seriously, this game is actually pretty good, all things considered. It refined the controls of Secret Rings by using the Wii Nunchuck, and the main mechanic of using a sword actually goes really well with this game. I love swinging the Wiimote around like a maniac, it's just fun. And the gameplay is surprisingly solid. If you learn how to time your movement, you can rip through enemies like a chainsaw with the chained homing attack. There are also some pretty fun set pieces in this game, like running through Camelot Castle, and the whole Dragon Cave level, I forget what it's called. And the soundtrack in this game is just phenomenal. I would argue this is easily on the top 5 Sonic soundtracks ever, and Crush 40 kills every single track they're in. Oddly enough though, the standout song from this game is the one that's not mainly done by Crush 40. It's With Me. This absolutely epic high-energy rock with these powerful female vocals. But Sonic and the Black Knight's standout feature is definitely the story. I've already made a separate video that briefly goes into why this story is so good, but I'll just say it now. Sonic and the Black Knight is the perfect characterization of Sonic the Hedgehog. The only thing holding this game back is that sometimes the Wiimote isn't nearly as precise as you'd like it to be with registering your movements, so you usually end up swinging with way more force than necessary if the motion control worked as well as it should. As well as some of the levels just not being fun because you're usually tasked with some mission that isn't just reach the end of a stage. And the art direction in this game is just kind of weird. You take Sonic and just isekai him into this extremely detailed and mystical fantasy world. Sometimes it just looks wrong, but overall this game was pretty okay.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
Sonic Lost World is surprisingly good. It's not amazing by any means, but I think on first playthrough, it's a perfectly fun platformer. The biggest problem with Lost World is that it simply doesn't feel like a Sonic game. It feels like a Mario game with a run button. The worst aspects of this game have to be the art direction and the story. The art direction in Lost World is just awful. It's so oversimplified and every badnik in the game looks like a toy. The environments are incredibly generic, like this has to be some of the worst zone theming I've ever seen in Sonic. It's just like in any typical platformer. Grassy plains, desert, snow area, etc, etc. This game's story is also just incredibly stupid. You'd think with a title like Sonic Lost World there would be more focus on the Lost World, but no. The Lost Hex is nearly irrelevant to the main story itself. Also, the dialogue in this game is very, very bad.
Those rotten, sneaky... Tails acted for the greater good. Let's make sure his sacrifice isn't for nothing.
I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I was too slow to save my buddy.
Like in Sonic Colors, some of the jokes were actually pretty funny, but here it just seems like the writers didn't put any effort into any of the writing. But all in all, this game is not bad once you get used to the mechanics and actually has some fun gameplay. The Wisps, unfortunately, are downgraded from Sonic Colors. My final gripe with this game is something most people will see as petty, but the UI in Sonic Lost World is the worst in the entire Sonic franchise. I'm sorry. This looks bad. If there was one word I would use to describe Sonic CD, it's quirky. Sonic CD is a quirky Genesis title that, for what it's worth, is honestly a pretty fun experience. There are so many gimmicks and unique aspects to most of the stages in CD that it almost feels like the game is a testing ground for ideas and how far the two-dimensional side-scrolling action of Sonic can be stretched. There's just so much going on in Sonic CD when compared with Sonic 1 and 2. The time travel mechanic in CD is pretty cool too, allowing for visual variation that's caused by your own actions in the game. The introduction of Metal Sonic is a great one as well, and they keep you on your toes with his presence by having you race him as a boss battle. The Japanese soundtrack for this game slaps. My only problem with Sonic CD is that sometimes the levels can feel a little too chaotic. Like, prime example is Wacky Workbench. It's too wacky. Anyway, Sonic CD is pretty good, and that's kind of all I have to say about it. I've played it only twice. The game that started it all. Sonic the Hedgehog. I love this game so much. I don't even think it's better than CD on a technical and gameplay aspect, but just seeing so much of Sonic's initial appeal represented in this game fills me with joy. Sonic 1 is a fun, simple platformer packed with so much identity for its time. My only real issue is that the levels kind of dip in quality after Green Hill Zone, but bounced back at Starlight Zone, so I guess it's okay. It's like for all the other levels, they didn't really utilize Sonic's speed as much as I would have wanted, but it's the first game. You can tell they're still figuring some things out. Overall, Sonic the Hedgehog is a perfect introduction to a franchise that would only evolve further from its roots.
Because we're Sonic heroes!
Alright, can I be real with you guys? I don't like Sonic Heroes as much as I wanted to, and I think that comes down to me just not growing up with the game. That being said, Sonic Heroes is a fun time. The levels are incredibly varied and creative, the core mechanic of switching between 3 characters works surprisingly well, and once you get accustomed to some of the more iffy parts of the controls, the game can actually be fun to try and blitz through. Sonic Heroes is a far simpler game than Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but I honestly think it's not too much of a step backwards. The game doesn't have any set pieces that really stand out to me, but the level theming is some of the best in the franchise. Seaside Hill, Grand Metropolis, Mystic Mansion, they're all great. But goodness, does this game kind of get boring after you complete Team Sonic. I don't really think any of the other teams really enhance the game past where it peaks with Team Sonic, and I feel like that's a real shame. At least with Sonic Adventure 2, Dark and Hero had exclusive levels. You're going to get a little bored of playing the same stage 4 times, even if there are differences in objective and difficulty. I can definitely understand why so many people love this game, but honestly, it's just not really my cup of tea. Sonic Adventure was so close to being a perfect transition into 3D. The game has great level design, great controls, a simple yet effective progression system, amazing music, an interesting hub world, and momentum-based gameplay that makes replaying levels rewarding. But that's only Sonic's story. You play as 6 different characters in this game: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Big, and Gamma. Now, I actually like Tails, Knuckles, and Gamma's playstyles in this game, but I feel like the best content easily comes from Sonic's playstyle. And once you keep playing and realize this is only 1/5 of the game, it's a bit disappointing. But other than that, Sonic Adventure pushed the Sonic franchise beyond its limits, by allowing narrative to be told with so much spectacle and story. And as dated as the cutscenes are, as bad as the voice acting is, and as awkward as some of the animations can be, it all comes together beautifully. This is a game that needs a remaster or remake so that more people can truly appreciate just how good it is. Also, this game introduced one of the best and most underutilized minigames in the Sonic franchise, the Chow Garden, and the Chow Garden itself might as well be its own game. I love Sonic Adventure, I really do.
We're doing a sequel. We're back by popular demand.
Holy mother of cream. Sonic 2 is one of the greatest sequels ever in gaming. It does everything a sequel should do perfectly. It takes the best aspects of Sonic 1 and amplifies them tenfold. And it does this in seemingly minor ways that you don't realize have much of an effect until you actually play these 2 games back to back. Like having less blocky level design and more curves and platforms to accelerate your speed, or the Spin Dash. The Spin Dash is Sonic 2's greatest invention. A simple move that allows you to stockpile speed and then blast forward, being able to destroy any enemy in your path. It's so genius that in subsequent re-releases of Sonic 1, they added the Spin Dash, because classic Sonic without the Spin Dash just doesn't feel right. Sonic 2 has amazing music, amazing levels, great controls, great pacing. It's just a great game. I think the only thing that really annoyed me about Sonic 2 is the final boss, because I just cannot beat this thing. Having 0 rings while trying to not touch the hitbox of the spikes on the Death Egg robot is really difficult for me, and I kind of just gave up after a while. Yeah, and this game introduces Tails, which is neat.
Taste the rainbow, motherfucker!
Sonic Colors is a game that I will always adore. Appropriately, this game is best described as an amusement park with many fun but short rides. The Wisps are incredibly fun to use and turn what would be a pretty generic platformer into a varied, unique, and fresh experience. And one thing that Colors does surprisingly well is replayability. I would argue that Sonic Colors is one of the most replayable Sonic games, second only to Generations and Adventure 2. Collecting red rings, memorizing the level layouts to get the fastest time, discovering alternative routes, it's all here. And the music in this game is almost unmatched by anything else in the Sonic series. Every single act has great music. I've also gotta give credit to the stage theming in this game. Having the whole intergalactic amusement plot be the perfect excuse for an incredibly creative and varied amount of stages. And as for Sonic fans who complain about this game's cutscene and story structure, I don't find them too annoying. Some of them are actually quite funny because they're supposed to act as breaks in between completing multiple stages, so playing through this game on first playthrough justifies them a lot more. My lone complaint about colors is that the game is a bit too easy. The level difficulty never really increases throughout the game, so getting good at the controls and using the wisps doesn't feel as rewarding as it should be. Overall, Sonic Colors is a great time, and I honestly wish the game got a better remaster because Sonic Colors Ultimate is not a good way to introduce people to this game.
Do I look like I need your power?
Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the perfect old-school platformer. I think this is the moment that the Sonic franchise became one that could stand toe-to-toe with Mario, because the level of quality in Sonic 3 is unmatched. So many great additions to the game that improve upon the formula set by Sonic 2 are present here, such as the elemental shields. Sonic 3 isn't as consistently fast-paced as Sonic 2, but the platforming in Sonic 3 allows for the game to feel slower and feel like you're having a good time. Each level in the game has its own unique little gimmick, and this with the addition of the elemental shields keep each new zone fresh. This is also the first time a Sonic game uses the game engine to have level transitions, and this works wonders in connecting each level together and helping craft a story. I don't really have much to say about Sonic 3 that doesn't kind of apply to Sonic 2, so sorry that this is a bit shorter. I can't believe it's taken the Sonic community this long to truly appreciate Sonic Unleashed. Now I'm just gonna start off by addressing the elephant in the room with this game, the Werehog. I'm gonna be honest here, I don't mind the Werehog as much as other people do, but I would be lying if I said if it wasn't annoying. Because the daytime stages are easily some of, if not the best stages in all of Sonic, hands down. Dragon Road, Savannah Citadel, Jungle Joyride, and Rooftop Run. Oh my goodness, Rooftop Run is just something else entirely. Maybe one day I'll make a video about why it's so good. The only reason why the nighttime stages are so annoying is because the daytime stages are so good. So you're stuck with this beat-em-up slow pacer interrupting this amazing flurry of high-speed action. And I've gotta say, the story of this game combined with the cutscenes and how the game plays out, it all just feels incredibly grand in scale. Sonic Unleashed is the Sonic game that I think of when people ask me what keeps me coming back to this franchise. This game feels like what Sonic at his best should feel like. The daytime stages are incredibly cathartic and endlessly replayable. The graphics and art style of this game still holds up till today, and the passion that was put into this game is palpable. This is Sonic Unleashed.
Let's do it!
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Sonic Mania is a miracle. There is no other word that can even begin to describe this game the way I want to. This game's very existence is a miracle. The fact that such a game can even exist and be made by the developers it was made by is miraculous. Sonic Mania takes every good thing about the Genesis games and updates them. The level design, the mechanics, the movement, and especially the animation. Sonic Mania's animation is beyond incredible. Every single frame of this game is perfect. What more is needed to be said? Just look at this game! They take levels you're probably already familiar with and add a new layer of interesting mechanics and gimmicks to them. But the best stages in this game are actually the original stages. The original stages are so good that the most common criticism of Mania is that there just isn't enough of them. Every single element of Sonic Mania just works perfectly, and the talented people behind this game deserve all the recognition and praise they've gotten. A masterpiece for the Mania, by the Mania.
Wishes are eternal.
Alright, for these last two entries, I honestly don't know which one of them I prefer above the other. But at the current time of me writing this script, this is just how I envision them being ranked. Sonic Adventure 2 is the perfect Sonic game. It's not my favorite Sonic game, but it is everything great about Sonic. Everything. Great gameplay, phenomenal music, an epic story, iconic cutscenes, varied stages and themes. There's a reason why Sonic Adventure 2 has garnered the reputation it has, and that's because it is the most Sonic game ever made. It takes its radical aesthetic and wears it like a badge. An extreme sort of coolness that distincts Sonic from the likeness of his competitors. And unlike in Sonic Adventure, every playstyle in this game is exciting and fun. The treasure hunting stages and the mech walker stages certainly don't reach the highest of the highs of the speed stages with Sonic and Shadow, but they act as a decent pace breaker because they're appropriately distributed throughout the main game. Sonic Adventure 2 also has without a doubt one of the best stories in the entire franchise. It's a gripping conflict between two factions of characters that involves plenty of insight into the Sonic universe and characters, through subtlety and exploration. And the Chao Garden in this game is a colossal improvement from the Chao Garden in Adventure 1. Back when I used to play this game as a kid, there were times where I would mainly just focus on the Chao Garden because it's such a detailed and complex aspect of the game that is completely optional. Sonic Adventure 2 is everything you want in a Sonic game, and yet there's one game that stands above it all. My favorite Sonic game is...
Hey Sonic! Enjoy your future! It's gonna be great!
Sonic Generations. I honestly don't know where to start, and if I did, I wouldn't know where to end. I was not expecting to like this game so much on subsequent playthroughs, but my goodness, I think this game is perfect. The biggest thing this game accomplishes is having two gameplay styles that are almost equally as fun. The modern Sonic stages take the best aspects of Sonic Unleashed and prioritize on speed and replayability. The classic Sonic stages take the familiar Genesis style of gameplay, but then just improve on everything. It's not a perfect recreation of the Genesis style, and it doesn't have to be. You can accelerate with the incredibly overpowered spin dash, which is just incredibly fun to do. The classic Sonic levels complement the modern Sonic levels by also being high-speed fun. Sonic Unleashed had the Werehog wearing it down. Sonic Colors just didn't have the same feel as the day stages of Unleashed. But Generations has the perfect boost stages, and it's complemented by an almost equally fun playstyle. Every single stage in this game is perfectly designed. The boss battles are amazing, with the fight against Shadow being the highlight for me. I'm actually struggling to coherently put down why I like this game without sounding like I'm rambling. So I'm just gonna conclude with this. Sonic Generations is the ultimate celebration of everything Sonic up until that point. It's the anniversary game that's filled with a good type of nostalgic recreation that shows that there was passion behind this game. It's just full of references and Easter eggs and just little things that you'll enjoy collecting as this sort of tribute to Sonic. But on top of all of that, it's just really a good game. Fast-paced, endlessly replayable, all about momentum and speed, rewarding and visually stunning. Sonic Generations is my favorite Sonic game. You know, something I learned from ranking all of these games is that I don't actually think there's a dark era or dark age of Sonic games. Like, I don't believe there was ever a time when Sonic games were consistently bad for 5 years. Then again, some people dislike games like Lost World and Black Knight a lot more than I do, so go figure, I guess. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until next time, farewell and goodbye.